Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. 9 points clear. We head into the World Cup 9 points clear. What a season, eh? Can't even wipe this smile off my face. No matter how hard these referees try, this smile is going absolutely nowhere, ladies and gents. As always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's time for the reaction to today's game. Celtic 2, Ross County 1. The last game before we head into the World Cup break this season, and we end off on the best way possible. Earlier in the afternoon, the news came through that Rangers had dropped points against St Mirren at St Mirren Park, which meant we had a glorious opportunity to extend that lead at the top of the table, and we've done exactly that. And I'll reiterate what I said in the opening to the video: no amount of dodgy refereeing is going to stop this Celtic side from winning the league title this season. We have showed that whenever the odds may be against us with these horrendous decisions, that we will still come out on top, and we are still too good. And that was a prime example of that there today. I was a bit scared when we went down 1-0. I did have the faith that we'd come back and win, but just with how the course of the game was going and the events that unfurled in front of us, I had a slight fear that we might have missed the opportunity to win and go 9 clear. But Ange Postecoglou's side, they know how to do it. And even if there is 2 teams playing against us, we'll get the win. We will see it out. And that's exactly what we done today. We had to dig deep. We had to find the goals. And we done it in the right moments in the game. And another impressive performance as well. Look, a 2-1 win, it isn't the most flattering scoreline in the world. It doesn't suggest that Celtic were great by any means, but we were, I thought. Over the course of the 90 minutes, I thought Celtic were really, really good today. We were unlucky to concede a goal in the first place, but over the course of the game, I thought we were good. We could have been a bit better in maybe the first half and taking chances, etc. But you know, it's just a typical Ange Postecoglou performance today, and you can't do anything but take the hat off to the players and the manager for finding the 3 points, and amongst all the nonsense that went alongside it. So shall we start with a quick wee rant? I just want to get things off my chest and get the obvious out the way, because it's just getting worse. I have prided myself on not being someone who goes onto these videos to just complain about referees, and I've said that exact sentence I think the last 4 or 5 domestic match reactions. But it's got to the point now where I just need to sit down and say, okay, I am someone who complains about the referees, and I'm going to just be open and honest about it, because it gets worse. Every week I think to myself, well, it can't get worse. It surely can. We have seen the absolute epitome of bad refereeing. And then the next game comes along. And for example, today comes along. The standard of refereeing is shambolic. And I hope and I pray and I swear to God that over this December break, the SFA need to, and I cannot stress enough, need to sit down and have a look at overhauling this whole process, the whole process with VAR, the referees who are in charge of the VAR, everything, the whole system. There has to be something changed. It is getting to the point where you would genuinely believe that there is a conspiracy in place to stop Celtic winning games. You would. I'm not saying that's what's happening before Rangers fans have a field day with that, but you wouldn't be, you know, the evidence is there to suggest that you're not far from it. You know, you could genuinely make a case for it. Today, another example. I have never seen such a unanimous collection of pundits, fans, everybody on social media, journalists. I've never seen such a collective unit of them agree on a decision as much as I have today when it comes to that penalty call. How on earth do Ross County get a penalty from that today? What is Matt O'Reilly supposed to do? What is he supposed? Is amputee football the way forward? Are we going to get rid of the limbs, the arms of these players? The handball rule is a joke, and the consistency of the refereeing of the handball rule, more specifically, is a joke. And that's just not the only issue from the game today in the refereeing decisions. Oh, no. That might be the worst of them, but it's certainly not where the line starts and stops. The decisions that were made in the first half were constantly baffling my mind. One of them to stand out was the one with the Ross County keeper. You'll know what I'm talking about. He picks up the ball when he's already dropped it or whatnot. He picks it back up, and the referee gives a foul to Ross County. He fouls it in Celtic's. They get a free kick. They actually got a free kick when no Celtic player was even remotely near him. They get a free kick. And then in the second half, oh my God, Celtic, Ralston goes down the box. I think it would have been a bit of a soft penalty, so I'm not going to use that one before people think I'm talking about that. But there was decisions in the second half that were constantly baffling to me, and in the first half. Throughout the entirety of the 90 minutes, the referee had such a lack of control, and you would honestly think he was cheating. You would honestly think that he was going out of his way to just show how much of a, anti-Celtic fan he was. I'm not saying that he supports any team in general. You can pick up from my words what you like. But what I am saying is, you'd think that he was very anti-Celtic with his decisions throughout the 90 minutes of that game. VAR is there to be used for decisions. He didn't even turn round to it for the penalty for Ross County. Or did he? Did it actually come up that there was? I think it did actually. It was a very quick one, in fact. But these systems are in place to correct these decisions. I sound like a broken record and it's pissing me off. Never mind, I feel sorry for you guys that have to listen to me saying the same things week in, week out. But these systems have been put in place to bring a consistency and correction to our game, and we are going backwards. Life was better pre-VAR, as I knew it would be. You know what? It didn't take a crystal ball to predict that happening, but life was better pre-VAR. We are in a state right now. The refereeing and officiating is an absolute shambles. And if you go back and you watch the entirety of that game, the whole 90 minutes, you can take all your bias aside from whatever team you support, whether it be Ross County, Rangers, Hearts or whoever, and you can simply see that Celtic were almost victims of what looked like cheating today. I'm not going to throw out accusations and say that what happened, because I'm not a skeptic like that, But all you had to do was watch it, and it's a joke. I'm getting fed up with it. It is ruining football. It is ruining the Scottish Premiership, and we're lucky we're 9 points clear, but the decisions that referee made today could have had a direct influence on how this title race, I'm using title race loosely right now because there's only one person winning the race and the other person running is Oscar Pistorius. I mean, that doesn't make much sense because Oscar Pistorius was a runner. You know what I'm trying to say. But what I will say is, it could have had a direct influence on how where points were dished out today. And Celtic, Matt O'Reilly, all you have to do is listen to his comments after the game. I'll quote what Matt O'Reilly said. I'll quote exactly what he said because he hits it nail on the head. In his post-match press conference, Matt O'Reilly says, "We've had some strange decisions go against us recently, but they still can't stop us." And I've not heard Ange's comments yet. I'd imagine it's going to be much the same. But when you look at the decisions that have went against us in the last few weeks, that's twice in 8 days that 2 penalties have been given against us. And I'm lost for words at this point, and we all know it. The players know it, the manager knows it, the fans know it. We are not being, conspiracy theorists. We are talking from what is the hard facts in front of us, and it's a problem that needs to be fixed. Anyway, rant over. I'm going to talk about the game now. Oh my God. Yeah, first half, we had control of the game. We were more than good enough. The only thing that was obviously lacking was a goal in the first half. That would have been nice. We couldn't quite find it. I want to talk about some standout performers though. I thought Rio Hatate, for example, today was just absolutely incredible. And let's just skip to the second half because the work he puts in to create our first goal in the game is absolutely unbelievable. And it's finished off really well by Turnbull. It's a great move altogether from the Celtic team. But Hatate in particular today was one of those 10 out of 10 performances that Rio Hatate produces so often. He's such an anomaly of a player. I've never seen anyone quite like him because he's either a 10 out of 10 or he's just kind of not there. I feel like there's no in between with Hatate, but more often than not, you're seeing 10 out of 10 performances from him. How he's not on the plane to Qatar, I don't understand because he's unbelievably good. But today, the work that he put in the middle of the park, both offensively and defensively, was absolutely superb. I thought he was fantastic at winning the ball back. I thought his control was just unbelievable. And I thought that he just deserved a real amount of credit, a huge amount of credit for his work today and in building that first goal. We had to dig deep. We had to fight back. You go 1-0 down in the 50th minute to a penalty, and then you're playing a Ross County side who are evidently playing a much more defensive team from that point on. We were forced into taking a lot of long shots, you'll remember as well. To then do what he done and find that space to run into it and have such control of the ball and then see out David Turnbull in a crammed penalty area, it takes a hell of a lot of skill and vision. And that deserves a huge amount of credit for Rio Hatate today. Fantastic player, unbelievable player, and deservingly the man of the match as well for me. He also then does the hard work as well, doesn't he? Well, not so much all the hard work because my boy Sead deserves a lot of praise, but he gets the assist as well for the second. He was just on fire, and he really was the difference maker for Celtic. Now, I don't think there was a bad player on the park for us today. I think Bernabei looked a bit raw at points, maybe wasn't the greatest, but apart from, I think everybody had a decent enough game today. But Hatate was the real difference maker, and he dug the deepest and pulling us out from 1-0 down to really get us back into the game and find us the lead in the game. Haksabanovic as well, he has found his form. He's been in form since he arrived, in my opinion, but he's found the goals. He's found those contributions which are going to be the big difference maker when people want to compare the stats. That's his third goal in 3 games now for Celtic, and his third in 2 start. Did he start last week? He did, didn't he? So that's his third goal in the last week, and it so importantly finds them. It's going to breed another confidence in him. I know it's kind of annoying now because the momentum sort of stops with the World Cup coming up, but he's broke that. He's got the goals. The confidence should be flowing out of him to score more. The feeling of scoring at Celtic Park is there. And so many players, like the subs, I thought were spot on as well. I think we deserved more goals ultimately. We forced a couple of good saves from the county keeper. We did create a lot of chances. Ultimately, over the course of the 90 minutes, despite it, as I said, being 2-1 and not being a really flattering scoreline, I thought we looked really good. I thought we controlled the game. We were brilliant. We were absolutely brilliant, I thought. And we deserved well more than the 3 points today for the way that we fought against what seems to be 12 men, 13 men if you're counting the VAR at this point. Yeah, very, very happy with the 3 points. 9 points clear heading into the World Cup break. If you told me that was going to be the case at the start of the season, I wouldn't have believed you. Not because I doubted our team's ability or Ange's ability as a manager, a coach. I just didn't think we would be so good and Rangers would be so bad. But here we are. We are, seeing the benefits of our great recruitment and our fantastic manager. You couldn't write a better script right now for this season. We're loving life. Another thing that I want to say is in the closing stages of the game, I think we showed some really good... There was a few good performances, is what I want to say. I thought Tony Ralston, for example, he is making the case now, and I've always been Juranovic over Ralston in terms of who is our starting right back and who's our first choice right back. For all we know, Juranovic could be off in January anyway, but Ralston to me is now showing that maybe he is the first choice option. I know we rotate that much that it doesn't really matter, but in those closing moments of the game, Ralston was absolutely superb this afternoon, I thought. The way he would get back, the tackles he was going into, which were not stupid, he was going in well, he was winning the ball. Even going forward, he was driving with the ball really well, he was showing the players inside. Ralston, I think, deserves a huge amount of credit for his performance today. Honestly, I don't have a bad word to say about most players. O'Reilly, let me go through the 11 and let me just sum them up in one word. Hatate, world class. O'Reilly, world class. Haksabanovic, my baby, my honey. Carter Vickers, solid. Enjoy the World Cup, big man. Turnbull, thought he had a great game. Thought he had a solid game. Of course, got a goal. Ralston, tremendous. Kyogo, bit more quiet, but he got himself into areas. He done what he has to do. Maida, I actually thought had a good game. Apart from one thing that he still needs to drill out is he had that opportunity in the second half where he does so well. He brings the ball down from Joe Hart's clearance. He turns the defender. He goes he plays it in, gets it back. Then he hits the cross first time. And we know what his crossing first time is like. It's poor. Take a touch, Dyson. Take a touch. Apart from that, thought he had a brilliant game. Thought Maida was really good. Bernabei, as I said, at points annoyed me, but generally thought he was okay. Another step in the development of him. Jens, solid enough. Hart, only really had the penalty thing to worry about and sadly didn't save it. And then the subs all came on and done a job. All of them. Jota, Giacomakis, Starfelt, Abada and Taylor. Taylor actually had a really good tackle right towards the end of the game. But not a bad word to say about anybody. We're in a great position. Oh, it's good to be a Celtic fan. Right, I don't think I have much else to say, apart from, obviously, this is it now. The World Cup begins. I'm leaning back because I'm relaxed, I'm chilled. We're in a great position. Nah, seriously. World Cup comes up now. The momentum does have to sadly stop for Celtic at this moment in time, but I'm more than confident that we come out of this and we pick up exactly where we've left off. 15 games played in the league, 14 wins. What a record. What a record it has been so far this season for Celtic. I cannot wait to see us back in action. Hopefully the World Cup flies through, because I just want Celtic back already. I miss them. It's of course going to be a big kind of turning point on the channel as well, because there's not going to be too much to talk about, I'd imagine. So we'll still be doing videos when there's news to speak about. I'm hoping that we get a podcast out to review the opening half of the season, but we'll have stuff. Don't worry. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. We're 9 clear. Let's all go out and have a drink. That's why I've rushed this video, because I want a fucking drink. We all deserve one after that today. Right, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It's much appreciated. Hope you all have a wonderful Saturday night, a wonderful weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Stay safe. Hail, hail. And I'll see you all next time.